Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 13th of January. So starting off looking at the euro dollar, and well, it got a reasonable bounce on Friday, which was to be expected after the softer than expected wage inflation in the US there on non-farms. Other figures seemed pretty okay, but that's what the wages were well down on expectation. The only thing is I expected to almost continue shifting straight away, but it didn't at the time, but it bounced back later. Currently it's just running short of the weekly pivot, but it's run into its daily 8 at the moment, maybe finding some resistance around this level. If it was to push back up there, there is a bit of resistance sitting there with a daily pivot, which and the daily R1's at that sort of level, which may provide a point of resistance. Daily pivot below could become a target on a break later on. It's just breaking 8 o'clock as I'm recording this at the moment. If it pushes down too far, and it may just not, there's not a lot of pips in it at the moment. It's about 10 pips, so this looks like quite a range in old thinking. But if you look at the scaling here, it is so tight at the moment with the euro. You'd need to be running beyond the daily pivot and hoping it's going to run back down towards that S1. Okay, so at the moment it's a watch and wait on that to euro dollar. The pound. Well, the pound at the moment sold off gap through the Asian session there. Any reversal here may be potential to run back towards that daily pivot, particularly if we see the euro pushing up as well. Let's just come back to the dailies here and just, I mean, you just see it's already tested the daily 50. It's pushed through that. It's coming through here on the 4 hourlies. It's looking soft, so we've got the daily and weekly pivots sitting above, but we'll see how it does this morning. There is the potential for that to reverse, fill that gap, and maybe the daily pivot there. Dollar yen, I would say just before I leave that altogether, is the pound has been slightly weaker, and there are the normal doves are talking about voting for a cut in interest rates, and that's possibly why that's moved down this morning. Okay, the yen. So the yen's tapping back on this daily 500. It's been trying, maybe this time, it's a slow old move. It's more of a swing than a day trade, anything to do with this yen at the moment. The ranges are pretty tight on it. It did look pretty good last week in terms of the overall movement there, but even through the whole week, well, it moved. It did move 80 pips in the end for the whole week. That's the sort of range we'd have expected on a daily basis for a long time. But you can see the tight ranges we saw on really Friday there, and again this morning. Very tight ranges at the moment. Daily pivot looks like it might have just been clipped, but there is that potential. Weekly pivot is right the way down here, back near the monthly pivot at 108.92. Any sell-off, break through the 50, maybe an intraday swing sort of trade. Aussie dollar, another one which I find on a daily, from a daily point of view, is difficult to trade. It's more of a short-term swing trade currency. Did finally push and hold on to its gains on Friday, pushing up again this morning, and doing reasonably well here already through its weekly pivot. If it starts selling off, it's got the daily pivot below, which could be a target, but at the moment it as I've mentioned, it's quite slow and can take some time before it does roll back there. So again, maybe an intraday swing trade. Canadian dollar, wouldn't touch it with a barge pole mostly. It's chopping away again, range bound the last couple of days. Thursday, Friday there, range bound on Friday. Even with the good data that came out relative to the US data, it did quite well and just went back to where it was basically. Stronger numbers coming out there, but there we are. So where it sits there, weekly pivot sitting below, which might draw it down at some stage, all over the daily at the moment. But as I said, as a day trading currency, I'll leave that one alone personally. So that's where we sit. News coming out today. We've literally got we got the UK GDP data coming out at 9:30. This is still on a monthly basis. This is a new measurement on a monthly basis. It becomes quite traders are sort of looking at it for intermittently even. It's not the best of. Doesn't come out in line, or it's often slightly wrong, as opposed to the quarterly one, which is easier to benefit from, but or trade from. But this one, well, we'll see. But that comes out at 9:30, so watch for volatility there. Also, the manufacturing production data coming out, but we're seeing flash numbers coming out now, and these core numbers, or the main numbers, are being sort of a bit more overlooked by those. But still, just watch out at 9:30. There is data that could affect the pound. Aside of that, it's quite light data all the way through. There's a Bank of Canada Business Outlook survey coming out later this afternoon, 3:30, and a business confidence New Zealand at 9 o'clock. So nothing of significance for in our trading period. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.